Tonight, arrested again, only hours after being released. The latest on the case of a high-risk sex offender in Guelph. Waterloo house fire.
And I looked out and all I saw was a wall of fire next door.
Witness accounts of the early morning ordeal.
100% I thought my house was going. Like the way the flames were so huge.
That left a home destroyed. Plus, All-Star.
And a couple of my best friends FaceTimed me on a group call and broke the news to me.
Kitchener's Jamal Murray is named to the showcase.
Honestly, seeing Jamal make the All-Star, man, it's something very special.
To finally have the NBA and its fans recognize this is absolutely tremendous.
Of the NBA's best. Good evening. A high-risk sex offender in Guelph who's been released and rearrested multiple times went through the same process once again today. Medhani Johans was released following a court appearance, only to be rearrested a few hours later. CTV's Karis Mapp has the latest for us.
This is video from early Monday morning as Medhani Johans was released in Guelph after being behind bars since July of 2025. The 36-year-old was arrested on July 25th for criminal harassment and breaching court orders. Johans has a lengthy history with police and had been arrested 4 times by Guelph police in the last 2 years. In this latest case, Johans was released back into the public on Monday afternoon after pleading guilty to breaching his probation, with all other charges withdrawn.
He had served a significant amount of pretrial custody, so he was released by the court after entering that plea.
After serving 192 days in custody, equating to a 288-day pre-custody credit, Johans' handcuffs were removed, and he left through the front door of the Ontario Court of Justice in Guelph, prompting police to put out the 3rd public warning about Johans.
We do believe that he poses an ongoing risk to the community based on previous behavior and previous interactions that we've had with him.
When releasing Johans, Justice John Lynch said he hoped Johans accepted the help being offered through probation, otherwise could see Johans spending much of the remainder of his life in custody.
People get confused if we consider him a danger to the public. Why is he being released? And again, that's a decision that's made by the court, not by the police. In this case, he's obviously served what the court deemed to be sufficient time in custody up until this date. So the court, deemed that it was appropriate to release him.
But less than 2 hours later, Guelph police confirmed the reoffender had once again been arrested. Police say he was seen breaching a condition of his latest probation order after being instructed to stay away from a particular address. Johans is now set to appear in court on Tuesday for a bail hearing on this latest allegation. Karis Mapp, CTV News, Guelph.
Next to Waterloo, where a massive fire destroyed a home this morning. Dramatic footage capturing the raging inferno and the aftermath. As we hear from CTV's Jeff Pickle, neighbors say it is a miracle that the damage wasn't much worse.
A column of smoke stretching into the sky a little after 7 this morning as crews fight to put out the flames at a home on Seawind Trail.
Got up and I saw the flashing of the lights and I saw the orange from the fire.
Across the street, Sid Vandenheed saw and felt the flames.
Could feel the heat over here, inside.
Has it spread to the next house?
Not yet, but Jesus, I mean...
Sid's wife asking the obvious question about the fate of the house next door.
So I'm looking out my window there. That is the only window that faces the side of their house, right?
At the house next door, Ann Holler says she heard the fire before she saw it.
Very, very scary. I heard some noises and I didn't know where they were coming from in the house. And all of a sudden I noticed there was cracks in my window in my living room. And I looked out and all I saw was a wall of fire next door.
Holler says her first thought went to her next door neighbors.
First thing I looked at before I called 911 was to see their driveway, because they always have vehicles parked in the driveway.
Waterloo Fire confirmed no one was in the home at the time of the fire. They say it's too early to say what caused the ignition. The Ontario Fire Marshal is investigating.
100% I thought my house was going. Like, the way the flames were so huge.
Aside from a few broken windows and melted siding, Holler says she feels lucky her home didn't suffer the same fate.
Incredible team. Like, you know, we're very blessed that we have fire departments that are pretty close to the neighborhood, right?
Waterloo fire say 5 of their 6 trucks were brought in to keep this fire under control. Deputy Chief Jake Herring says flames spreading to other homes was a real possibility.
When they're this close together, these larger size, couple thousand square foot homes, they take up quite a bit of the footprint of the lot, and yes, there is a lot of potential there for exposure to the adjacent structures, and the crews did a great job of stopping that.
Jeff Pickle, CTV News, Waterloo.
And next, some developing news we are watching that is impacting commuters tonight. GO train service has been disrupted on multiple lines, including the Kitchener line, after a train derailed while it was leaving Union Station this morning. Let's go to CTV's Alexandra Hollick now, who's been following the latest on this. And Alexandra, Metrolinx now says delays could stretch into the evening.
That's right, Tony. Right now, the GO train service website says some trains are slowly making their way into and out of Union Station. Commuters on the Kitchener GO line are looking at delays between 30 and just over 50 minutes at this time. Many routes are either delayed or canceled this rush hour because the derailed train is still blocking the tracks. It happened around 8:15 this morning. Metrolinx says a train was leaving Union Station when it partially derailed and hit a track switch. That led to signal issues, and the train was left to sit on the tracks. One passenger who was on board the train describes the moment it left the tracks.
It's one big shake, and then all of a sudden it's like rocking back and forth, kind of like those wooden train cars at Canada's Wonderland. And everybody's just kind of looking around, looking at each other, kind of like there's this feeling of, should we be panicking? The train car is now elevated. It's like very clearly there's something under one side. It's been tilted to the side.
Work to remove the train is ongoing, but it continues to take up track space, forcing delays, cancellations, and modifications to all lines during the afternoon and evening rush hours. In the meantime, the minor mishap is creating a major headache for commuters.
We left at 7:30 this morning, and when we got to Danforth, the train stopped, and he says we were going to sit there for a while, and then an hour later, we were still sitting there, and then we started to move, and then he stopped again, and they didn't tell us anything. They just said there was a problem at Union Station.
The announcement guy, he was like saying like, oh, we need to wait for like a few minutes. We just got some operation issues, so we just waited for a few minutes. Then he issued another announcement again saying about another operation issue. It just like drags on for like a couple of minutes and almost like 20 minutes, almost to a half an hour. Then everyone's getting really frustrated because we didn't know what's going on.
Metrolinx is urging people to travel earlier to give themselves more time to get to their destination. There's no word on when normal service will be restored. Tony.
Okay, Alexandra Hollick, thank you with the latest on that GO train disruption. Okay, time for a check on the weather. Let's head over in studio to Leanne Evans now on weather duties tonight. And I think there's one thing we can agree on. February is being a lot kinder than January was so far for weather.
Isn't that the truth, Tony?
Yes,
we said goodbye, January.
Oh, yeah.
We are done with you.
Ancient history.
Hello, February.
Yep.
And plenty of sunshine to start off the month, right? Yesterday, beautiful way to cap off the weekend in Waterloo region. Plenty of sunshine for your Sunday and into Monday as well. So hopefully you all had a nice weekend and had a chance to get outside and actually just enjoy winter, because it was finally so pleasant to spend time outdoors yesterday afternoon with all that sunshine that we saw here locally. Okay, so we saw the sun continue to shine here in Waterloo region throughout the majority of the day today. That cloud cover started to move in the later afternoon hours, and we're seeing that continue to build as we head into the evening. We're going to see some flurry activity start to pick up. Depending on where you're joining us from, you may already notice some snowfall in your area, especially if you're on the shores of Lake Huron as that system approaches us here inland as well. Currently sitting at -8 in Waterloo region, many surrounding communities hovering around that same mark. It is feeling much cooler when you factor in the wind chill. We're seeing that wind chill still play a factor, even though we're seeing moderate wind speeds out of the south-southwest this hour, feeling closer into the minus double digits. So a solid start to the month, a solid start to the week. What is to come? We'll tell you more in the full forecast. Tony.
All right, we'll see you shortly, Leanne. Thank you. And speaking of the weather, crowds gathered in Wyerton today for the 70th edition of the community's Groundhog Day festivities. So what did the famous furry prognosticator Wyerton Willie predict this year? CTV's Scott Miller has those details.
What Willie told me is he did not see the sun. So everybody knows what that means. 1, 2, 3. It's an early spring!
For the 6th consecutive Groundhog Day, Wyerton Willie hasn't seen his shadow, which by tradition means it will be an early spring.
It's fitting for the weather we've been having for the last 2 to 3 weeks. So, you know, people in this area are used to this type of thing. We're here in the wintertime. We know what it's like. But it is nice to hear from Willie on a beautiful day like today that it's going to be an early spring.
A parking lot packed with folks from across Ontario braved minus 20-degree temperatures this morning to hear Wyerton Willie's prediction, which was music to most people's ears.
I'm ready for an early spring this year. Too much snow already. Yeah, at this point. I mean, I do love winter, but at this point, I'm ready for spring.
We were hoping for an early spring, and hopefully he's going to be right this year.
Yeah, what do you think?
That would be great because my car said it was minus 18 this morning heading out here, and let's get her a little warmer. Early spring would be great.
Like much of Ontario, Wyerton has been absolutely buried in snow this winter. Almost 350 centimeters so far. That's what Wyerton would normally get in an entire winter.
The gentleman on stage mentioned about his snowblower was blowing belts. We've been having the same things happen. You know what? We're just about ready for it to warm up for sure. We're happy.
Although enthusiastic for Willie's prediction of an early spring, some in the crowd are questioning just how realistic it might be.
Well, I mean, I'm excited for tulips, but it's hard to believe that spring's coming early when it's this blistery cold, but we can stay optimistic, right?
I mean, I do have hopes that it is going to be an early spring, but I don't really know with how cold it is.
I think the bay's frozen. I don't think we're going to get winter this far, but I think we're going to get a really early spring.
So once again, the crier's bell did ring. Yes, Willie predicts. Now hear this. It's an early spring!
In Wyerton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Frank Stronach is set to stand trial this week, facing a dozen allegations of sexual assault involving 7 women. The billionaire businessman has denied all of the accusations against him. CTV's John Woodward has more.
A relaxed Frank Stronach walked out of Toronto Superior Court Monday, exchanging words with the media.
How are you?
The billionaire's affable demeanor didn't impress Jane Boone, who was just a 19-year-old intern at Magna International in the 1980s when she last saw Stronach, the company's leader.
It was very odd seeing him shuffling by. He was such a dynamic and forceful presence when I was a student. He was the star of Magna, and now he's a little old man.
She claimed in a recently filed lawsuit that Stronach took her to dinner and then had sex with her, allegations the billionaire and his company deny. She's not among the complainants in this first set of criminal charges to be heard at Toronto Superior Court, but hopes to support them in a trial of one of Canada's richest men who, one complainant told CTV News, used his power and leadership position to find women for sex.
He wasn't my employer anymore. He was my abductor. He was my rapist.
The allegations from 13 women relate to incidents as far back as 1977, before the current definition of sexual assault was made law. The courtroom closed Monday as lawyers wrangled over pretrial motions in what will be a trial by judge, which observers say could be a strategic move.
Cases like this that are in the media, there's a lot of public perceptions as it relates to the Me Too movement, as it relates to wealthy men who in the past are alleged to have committed criminal offenses. Part of the calculus may be that with a judge who's trained in the law will be followed.
Boone hoping the justice system is fair to the complainants.
My own experience was pretty awful, so I'm hopeful that it won't be too upsetting for them.
Stronach's lawyers have said he plans to fight the allegations when the trial begins.
Tributes are pouring in for a 14-year-old boy who was killed in a snowmobile crash in Zora Township over the weekend. With more on what happened and the community reaction, here's CTV's Jerry Dewan.
An obituary posted on Monday described Dominic Cross as a kind, fun-loving fella with a heart as big as his smile. The 14-year-old Cross died after a collision involving the snowmobile he was riding and a pickup truck. The crash happened on Road 92 near Line 23 in Zora Township.
I mean, every club member we have and every snowmobiler in the area that I know, just heavy heart.
Brandon Bowen is president of the Thamesford Snowmobile Club. He went to the scene on Saturday to help snowmobile trail riders navigate around the scene. He says there have been tremendous strides to make snowmobiling safer for all.
7 years that I've been helping, I've never seen something like this in our area.
In Ontario, anyone with a valid driver's license can ride a snowmobile. A person between 12 and 15 can obtain a motorized snow vehicle operator's license that can only be used on private property or designated snowmobile trails, which are groomed and maintained by clubs.
We install with volunteers all the trail signage, you know, your stop ahead, your stops, your speed limits, all the appropriate signage that OFSC requires for the trail.
Dominic Cross was a grade 9 student here at Ingersoll District Collegiate Institute. On Monday, the Thames Valley District School Board dispatched a team to try and help students and staff deal with his loss. In his obituary, Dominic was described as a lover of all sports, with his favorites being fishing and hockey. He was a U15 player with the Thamesford Minor Hockey Association. A celebration of life will be held at the Unifor Hall in Ingersoll on Saturday evening. In Ingersoll, Jerry DeWan, CTV News.
Another setback for the Northern Ontario community of Kashuan with the discovery of a parasite in the water supply. It's prompted plans to evacuate medical staff. Most residents have already gone after problems in January with the water treatment plant in the community. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver on the ongoing issues facing that community.
The several hundred people remaining in the fly-in community of Kashuan may soon be without medical care. The medical staff are pulling out soon, a month after a state of emergency was called in the Northern Ontario community of about 2,300 people. Once the confirmation of the cryptosporidium was in the water supply, Health Canada, I think, and their health teams decided that they have to remove their nurses out of the community. The paramedics will follow. Indigenous Services Canada says the community's nurses are expected to depart today, but that orange air will be on standby if needed. The residents who are choosing not to evacuate will have to drive about an hour away to Fort Albany Hospital for care. Roughly 370 people are still there. We're starting to make plans to get these individuals or these families out of the community. Evacuations began last month when a state of emergency was called after the community's water treatment system failed, sending sewage into people's homes and contaminating freshwater systems. Late last week, tests confirmed the parasite cryptosporidium was found in the community's water system, the same parasite that made more than 60 people sick.
It doesn't take much of this infection to ingest to actually get us sick. And the primary syndrome of this infection is a gastrointestinal syndrome. This latest incident comes after the community found E. coli in their water in 2005. And while engineers are looking at solutions, so far there is no timeline for when the water will be safe enough for the community to return. And even then, Wesley says trust in the water has eroded. It is going to take some time, a lot of time for people to regain that trust. Indigenous Services Canada says there are plans for alternative access to health care, including virtual care for residents. The department says the nurses will start returning to Kashuan when the community members do as well. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
Sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter and stay in the know. We've got local content from our newsroom right to your inbox every morning, including a look at the day's top stories, the latest forecast, and some must-see videos. You can sign up over on our website, and that, of course, is ctvnewskitchener.ca. A plan to boost the GST credit for low-income Canadians was put on the fast track today. Coming up, what the changes are expected to mean in these tough economic times and what else critics are calling on the government to do when it comes to food prices.
And the kid from Kitchener gets a big-time recognition, Jamal Murray's journey and rise to being named an NBA All-Star. That story is just ahead.
We started the month and the week off on a beautiful winter note, but we are set to see some flurry activity move in. I'll tell you just how much snow we're looking at coming up in the full forecast.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
It's one of the biggest honors an NBA player can receive. Kitchener's own Jamal Murray, who plays for the Denver Nuggets, has been picked to participate in the NBA All-Star Game for the first time. And 9 seasons into his professional career, he's got the stats to back up that selection. Let's go to CTV's Spencer Turcotte now live with the latest on a story that just keeps getting better and better. And you're going to break this down a little more for us, Spencer.
Yeah, well, Murray is averaging career highs in many areas. Points, three-point shooting, and assists, to name a few. And he's done it all while some key Nuggets players have been sidelined due to injuries. A stoic Jamal Murray spoke with reporters after a tough loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder on Sunday.
I was asleep, taking my pregame nap, and a couple of my best friends FaceTimed me on a group call and broke the news to me.
The loss may have overshadowed some of the excitement from being named a first-time All-Star. While he may be playing it cool, his friends are soaking in that excitement, including longtime friend and Wilfrid Laurier University assistant basketball coach Shadir Tenney.
We told him, like, buddy, are you not watching the announcement here? He's like, man, I got my pregame nap. What happened? But he's got named All-Star, man, and then, you know, he started smiling.
Kitchener's own Jamal Murray gets the All-Star nod in his 9th season. He's long said that if he were to make an All-Star game, he'd take it seriously, something fans may see as a breath of fresh air, considering many recent All-Star games have seen a no-defense display from star players.
I'm down to play one-on-one. I don't care. I'm just a competitor, right? So I would like to play.
That doesn't mean there aren't some tricks up his sleeve and won't have some fun with his shot making.
Yeah. Half court, full court shot. hey, I don't care. I'm gonna make it though, so.
And that's certainly in the realm of possibility given the season he's having. Career highs in points, shooting percentage, three-point percentage, rebounds, and assists. His best friends are challenging him even more.
He needs to make a left-hand three-point shot. He's a really good left-hand shooter, but I haven't seen it in a game yet. So I think the All-Star game would be a great place to showcase that.
One of the things that will always stick in my mind, and a little keepsake that I have from it, is early on in his time after he got drafted, was being presented by these amazing Adidas Jamal Murray running shoes.
One of the biggest supporters of Murray may be Kitchener's mayor, Barry Verbanovic.
In this community, he's been an all-star for more than a decade, but to finally have the NBA and its fans recognize this is absolutely tremendous.
Verbanovic says no matter how big the stage has gotten for Murray, the NBA star is always focused on giving back.
When he's here, he often connects with young people who are developing their own basketball skills and just giving them that little bit of extra encouragement and nudge and support.
Yet the highest praise of all may have come from Murray's teammate Nikola Jokic, the 3-time MVP of the league, who will be joining Murray at All-Star Weekend.
I wouldn't change it for anybody, so he's whenever I say who is my top 5 of my career, he's definitely number 1.
And this will also be the first time 2 Canadian players will play in the same NBA All-Star game. Oklahoma City Thunder's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander will also be representing the country with Murray. Tony.
It's going to be a great game a couple of weekends from now. Spencer, thank you. CTV's Spencer Turcotte joining us live. All right, live look outside now from the boardwalk in Kitchener, and a little bit breezy out there tonight, but it's amazing how suddenly the temperatures we're feeling this week almost seem mild compared to what we got in January. So how is the rest of this first week of February going to unfold? Leanne's back with our long-range forecast in just a couple of minutes. Also ahead, crafted with the help of Mother Nature, we will visit a Waterloo furniture company giving reclaimed wood a custom touch on this week's edition of Made Right Here. Also tonight, South Korea makes moves to try to build Canadian attack submarines. A CTV News exclusive on that coming up. All right, Leanne's here with our look at the weather. Ashley is away tonight, and we've got a lot of good to talk about with the weather.
Yes, we do.
Amazing how we were both commenting on this. Saturday was the first time I've noticed the sunset in a long, long time, seen the sun and seen the skyline that clear.
And we were talking about this as it was happening. We were both kind of in awe, like, oh my gosh, it's 5:30 and the sun's still out?
Instant mood booster and instant goodbye January, bring on February, we're getting closer to spring.
Yeah, the days are getting longer. It's fantastic to see it. And Sunday too, of course, I felt like revitalized after getting out for an afternoon walk Sunday with all that sunshine. Oh my goodness, I can enjoy winter when it's like that.
Nature's medicine, I'll tell you. It's really turned things around for us heading into this week. And it's amazing how like -8 now suddenly feels mild compared to what we dealt with.
I know, it's crazy to think, but hey, it just shows that we're getting used to the temperatures and the deep freeze that we've seen. Hopefully you're still okay with it, because we will still see cold conditions as we get into February. Dave Pettit out at the Kitchener Boardwalk area tonight, and as you can see, the flurry activity has started there for us. I just stepped outside just before the forecast here outside our studios in the Sports World area of Kitchener, and no sign of any flurry activity yet. So there you can see the difference. Over at the boardwalk, the snowfall has begun, and here in the Sports World area, conditions are still dry this hour. But we are expecting that system to move through. As you can see, when we take a look at our futurecast, it's going to be a pretty wide swath of snow that's moving in off the shores of Lake Huron. If you're north of Waterloo region, you'll likely notice a bit more lake effect snowfall in your areas, especially towards Mount Forest and the north shores of Lake Huron through Wyerton and Georgian Bay as well. And we will see this system kind of stick with us through the overnight hours into Tuesday morning as well, before that system moves out by late Tuesday afternoon. Now, we're not talking about a lot of localized accumulation here in Waterloo region, looking at anywhere from about 1 to 3 centimeters of accumulation over the next 24 hours or so. So nothing too impactful. However, we'll notice that flurry activity persist through the overnight hours. Temperatures across the country, it is 8 degrees in Calgary, looking at a little bit of a warm up on the west coast. Temperatures dip as we head towards Winnipeg, -21 this hour. It's -11 in Regina, -6 in Saskatoon. Closer to home, -12 through the GTA, -12 in the Windsor area, -17 in Ottawa this hour. And on the East Coast, we know that nor'easter has hit and the storm is present in Halifax through Newfoundland as well, -7 in St. John's, -8 in the Halifax area. And that is what we're sitting at here in Waterloo region as well this hour. It's -7 through London into Hamilton, -5 in the extreme southwest of Windsor. Now, the wind speeds are fairly moderate this hour. However, the wind chill still pretty present out there tonight as you make your way outside, feeling closer into -14 this hour here in KW, through London and in many surrounding communities as well. We did reach a daytime high of -6 here locally. That came just around the 5 o'clock hour. We only held on to that for about 10 to 15 minutes or so, and then temperatures fell back to -7. Pretty close to seasonal for this time of year. Usually we're sitting at -4. Take a look at our low today, -22. That came around the 8 o'clock hour this morning. So if you were up and at it, you probably noticed it if you were out on your morning walk. Overnight temperatures dropped to -11, feeling closer to -16 when we factor in that wind chill. Tomorrow rebounding to -8. And again, that flurry activity likely persisting through the first part of Tuesday anyway. Hey, by Wednesday, sun is shining once again, and temperatures, as we kind of talked about, feeling more mild compared to what we've been used to here over the past couple of weeks. If you're joining us from the Windsor area, the sun will be out for the middle of your week as well. -6 the daytime high by Wednesday, -4 by Thursday, overnight lows into the -teens. And in southern Georgian Bay, looking at a little bit more accumulation for snowfall through the day. Tomorrow, -7 will be the daytime high, and the sun returns by Wednesday. Okay, let's take a look at tonight's Weather Watcher picture. It's from Jane in Wilmot Township. She says this is the beauty of hoarfrost, and I had to choose this one because I noticed outside, when I looked outside this morning, all the trees look so stunning with the hoarfrost. Tony, have you heard of what hoarfrost is?
I just had to look it up when I was looking at that term in the prompter here, and I know you're going to explain it to us now. I've never heard of this.
Yes, because I didn't know that there was actually a term for it as well. When I was looking outside this morning, I just thought, wow, how stunning. But so it's a type of feathery frost that forms as a result of specific climate conditions, and the word hoar comes from Old English and refers to the old age appearance of the frost. So the way the ice crystals form makes it look like white hair or a beard on the trees. Isn't that interesting?
That is cool. I love that there's actually a term for it, because usually you look at ice crystals like that and you just think, ooh, that would make a pretty picture postcard. But there is a scientific reason behind all that.
Scientific reason and a cool explanation behind it as well.
I love it. Yeah, thank you, Jane. I love when our weather watchers can help us enlighten ourselves about these things.
Yes, we learn something new every day.
Sure do. Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you.
A bill aimed at providing GST relief to help with the cost of groceries will be fast-tracked through Parliament after MPs voted unanimously on a Conservative motion today.
We have a crisis in this country for millions of families and millions in line at a food bank, and we want to see real relief.
The Conservatives say while they agreed to support the government's bill, they are calling on the Prime Minister to offer more tax relief to help offset high food prices. A familiar name in Canadian politics is taking on a new role on the international stage. Liberal MP Bill Blair will be resigning his seat in Toronto in the House of Commons to become Canada's new High Commissioner to the UK. Blair is a former cabinet minister and has served in a number of public safety roles, including Chief of Police in Toronto. South Korea is pulling out all the stops to win the bid to build Canada's next generation of submarines. CTV News has learned plans are in the works to sail one of Hanwha's submarines across the Pacific to Canada this spring. Correspondent Judy Trin is in South Korea tonight with the exclusive details.
A deep dive into what could be the biggest defense procurement in Canada's history, the purchase of up to 12 submarines.
Because this has now evolved into a government-to-government situation. It's a big procurement. This is going to be a relationship with the winner for years, decades to come.
To persuade, the South Korean Navy plans to sail the KSS-3 submarine across the Pacific and dock in British Columbia, a journey that will take 2 months.
Your hands up here.
Okay. CTV News also got to see Hanwha's pitch up close. We couldn't film because of security protocols, but the attack submarine holds about 50 sailors. It launches vertical missiles that target land and has torpedoes. But the deciding factor will rest on economic benefits. To win the contract, Hanwha is pledging to help hard-hit businesses, like investing $345 million in Algoma to buy its steel and help it build a plant to make beams.
It's been tough as tariffs have been in place for a year and half of our business has gone away.
While some companies are hurting, others are looking for ways to expand. Using robotic technology, Hanwha builds 45 ships annually on its assembly line. Speed, Ontario's shipyards want to emulate.
I mean, what they do here is cutting edge. It's absolutely fantastic. If we can bring just a fraction of that to Canada, I think us as a country would be a lot further ahead in our shipbuilding endeavors.
The deadline for Hanwha and TKMS to submit their bids is March 2nd. It's a deal that could be worth $100 billion spread over more than 3 decades. It's investment that Canada needs to protect itself from Donald Trump's trade war. Judy Trin, CTV News, Koje, South Korea.
A crucial test is underway at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida, where a massive rocket is being fueled up, preparing to carry Canadian astronaut Jeremy Hansen into space for a flyby of the moon. Well, today's tests will help determine if the historic mission will proceed in the next week or so, amid concerns that have been raised about the heat shield. Here's CTV's John Vanavali-Rao.
After rolling out to the launch pad 2 weeks ago, this massive NASA rocket's now undergoing a final critical test, what's called a wet dress rehearsal, loaded with fuel during a practice countdown. And depending on how things go, Canadian Jeremy Hansen could blast off in less than a week, with the moon mission seeming like it could finally happen.
Now there's an actual rocket on the launch pad pointing in the right place, and there's the moon somewhere not, kind of lined up. And now we're actually putting fuel on it.
There were no astronauts on board today. All 4 remain in quarantine, awaiting the green light for a launch attempt. A mission that'll see them go on a 10-day lunar flyby on a rocket and capsule that have never carried people before, with Hansen set to become the first non-American ever to go around the moon.
To see our beloved Jeremy Hansen going up there, Canadian, this is just a really exciting moment for the world, but it's especially exciting for Canada.
The Artemis rocket did suffer a fuel leak today, but the team seemed to work around the problem. It could potentially launch on the 8th, 10th, or 11th, failing that early March or April, with the astronauts prepared to fly on Sunday.
The crew are assuming that's their launch date, so they will be ready.
All that as concerns are again being expressed about the Orion capsule's heat shield, which during an uncrewed test in 2022 was damaged unexpectedly during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere.
Enormous chunks of the heat shield came off. Fortunately, not enough to cause catastrophic failure, but certainly enough to send alarm bells ringing all over NASA.
Some think the risk is unacceptable, but NASA has said if astronauts had been on board, they would have survived, and it has since modified the re-entry angle. Meanwhile, NASA has said it won't set a specific launch date until it has reviewed the data from today's test, which could take another day or two. John Benavelli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
And we should note we're getting reports out of Kennedy Space Center that today's test was marred by a fuel leak, which was resolved, but certainly leaving questions about whether that mission is going to go forward in the next week or so. Next, a big fine for a cosmetics giant. In business news, more on the guilty plea relating to a chemical in some makeup products. Cosmetics giant Estee Lauder has been fined $750,000 after pleading guilty to using a forever chemical in some eyeliner products. It happened last month in an Ontario court. The ingredient is a substance that Environment and Climate Change Canada says does not degrade easily. Cosmetic companies have used it to boost the durability of products. Following the recent conviction, Estee Lauder's name will be added to Canada's Environmental Offenders Registry, a list detailing corporations' offences committed under certain environmental laws. Well, the federal government has mailed out some $2 billion in paper checks to Canadians that remain uncashed. The nearly 4 million uncashed checks were revealed in documents recently tabled in Parliament. They include $141 million in checks from the Canada Carbon Rebate Program and nearly $43 million in checks from the Canada Child Benefit. While the federal government prefers to get money to Canadians through direct deposits, some benefits are still distributed through the mail. Practical, creative, custom-built pieces of furniture, from tables to beds. A Waterloo company specializes in building them using reclaimed wood. We visit G&B Urban Design on this week's edition of Made Right Here.
My name is Terry Foster, a furniture designer with G&B Urban Design, and we make very unique mid-century modern Scandinavian-inspired furniture. When I first got into woodworking, it was in the cabinetry field, which was a lot of repetition. It was creating boxes over and over and over again. And being a creative person and a former chef, I needed something a lot more creative. So I decided to switch gears into furniture where I could really open the door to any possibility. One of the biggest things that people come to us for is unique products like record cabinets. It's extremely hard to find a high-quality solid wood record cabinet in Canada that is not just mass-produced, that has unique features that are well thought out and not just a product to put on a shelf. One of the most unique things about our furniture is probably our dedication to sustainability and sticking local. We work with a lot of local suppliers, local builders, to make sure that everything we do comes from within 100 kilometers from us. And we focus on designs that are timeless, that will last generations. One of the ways that we try to serve our customers better and serve a wider range of customers is by moving most of our sales processes online. A showroom and large shops, these things are expensive, so it allows us to lower our price point, making things more accessible to a wider range of people. We also have other ways to mitigate the risks of buying online, such as one-on-one virtual consultations, sending samples into the mail so you can see it and feel it in your own home, and we'll even throw in a buyback guarantee. If you don't absolutely love your product, I will buy it back from you. I guess what keeps me going each day when it comes to this business is just the ability to create something from nothing that is an expression of who I am and my values.
Coming up, a Humber College professor wins a Grammy Award. The album that earned a man who's worked with some big names one of the biggest awards in music. What do Snoop Dogg, Olivia Rodrigo, R. Kells, and the Tragically Hip have in common? Well, they've all collaborated with Toronto's Justin Gray. Last night, the performer and Humber College professor won his first Grammy Award for his album Immersed. CTV's Andrea Case reports.
When Justin Gray received a Grammy nomination last November,
Best Immersive Audio Album,
he said it was the highlight of his life so far. That was then.
And the Grammy goes to Immersed.
At the 68th Annual Grammy Awards pre-show, Immersed became the first Canadian nomination in the category and the first win.
To Toronto, to Canada, we love you. Music is a gift that we all share, and can we maintain and just continue to uplift each other through this beautiful art form? Thank you.
I mean, it's just a feeling of gratitude. I had never been to the Grammys before, and the premiere ceremony, it is huge. Like, there are a lot of people in that room.
Gray is on the faculty at Humber Polytechnic, now teaching in the same course he once graduated from. He is passionate about imagining music in 3 dimensions and calls Immersed a pure love letter to the Toronto music community. He traveled the world with the album and accompanying film, but this was a new experience.
Once the category came on, I just was breathing deep, because, you know, you just kind of want to prepare yourself for whatever comes. And it was a little bit of a blur, but just so much gratitude, just a lot of joy.
Gray is a performer, composer, Juno-winning producer, and engineer. He brought 38 traditional Toronto musicians together to create a new sound. The immersive audio mixing and mastering brings the music to life, literally putting the audience in the middle, surrounded by the band.
It's also just an encouragement to just keep believing in the process, keep believing in the craft. It inspires me to feel that confidence to continue pushing forward, keep surrounding myself with the community that's been so amazing to work with thus far.
He won't have any trouble bringing the Grammy across the border back to Canada. Unlike the Academy Award, the one he was given is not the one he will keep.
Definitely the first person I handed it to. The one that we were holding that day was my co-producer, good friend, Drew Jureka, fellow Canadian, also making history here. And then Michael Romanowski, the mastering engineers. But then they take it back, and then at a certain point, it'll get mailed to me.
Andrea Case, CTV News.
What a great story. Love that. All right, more news coming up. First, let's check in with Leanne.
We are seeing some flurry activity move in towards Waterloo region as we get into the evening hours. What will Tuesday morning bring? We'll tell you coming up in Wake Up Weather next. Kick back and be cozy on this Monday evening. We've got
I'm Angie.
And I'm Sarge with Bounce 99.5's 4K Double Play.
We're giving away $4,000 for 2 songs back to back.
Listen weekdays 6A to 6P for back-to-back songs from the artist of the day.
Then go to bounce995.ca for your chance to win.
All right, wake up weather time. Do you know what Alan and Kevin and I, who are the late crew who are last to leave the building, you know what we've been dreaming about every night?
What?
A night where we don't have to go outside and clear anything off our cars.
Well, tonight might not be that night. I hate to break it to you. However, it won't be a whole lot of snow on your car. I don't think.
If it's the kind that you can get off your car just by slamming the doors shut.
Oh, I don't think it'll be that. You're going to need to take the snow brush out, Tony.
I have
dust it off a little bit.
I don't want people to think I don't have a snow brush, but I love those nights where you can just slam all the doors and it falls off.
Do an angry slam. Yeah. Okay, wake up weather tomorrow morning. Cool conditions as we're waking up, feeling closer to -15 by the early 6 a.m. hour. Few flurries moving in over the course of the morning. Of course, we'll see that on and off through the overnight hours as well. So yeah, you may have to clean the car off in the morning too, not just tonight.
The brush is ready. It's ready
to go.
Finally for us, let's end on this nice note. A Toronto sports moment about to be immortalized. It was Joe Carter's historic walk-off homer to win the 1993 World Series. That's going to be commemorated with a statue outside the ballpark.
The announcement was made today in an online video.
Swinging a belt, left field, way back, Blue Jays win! The Blue Jays have repeated as World Series champions.
Yeah, and two executives surprising him with the news that a statue is going to be made of his home run.
It's an honor. I thank you guys. You know how much I love you guys and the Blue Jays and this city. That's why I come back and do all this stuff from the golf tournament. It's home for me. It really is.
The statue will represent the first championship won in Canada and is also symbolic of the team that won back-to-back championships in 1992 and 1993. It's being unveiled during the Jays' 50th season. Very cool stuff.
What a full circle moment.
Yeah.
Gotta love that. And it's crazy that it's the 50th season this year, but it's going to be a big one. Can't wait for it.
Isn't it nice when we start talking about baseball again? Yeah. And we're getting into February. We're getting closer to spring.
Closer and closer. That's our time. Thanks for checking in with us. We'll see you back here tonight at 11:30. Have a good night.
Good night.